For centuries, the Society of the Black Dragon has sanctioned an ancient rite of combat known as the Kumite, open only to the world's most lethal warriors. It has never been won by a Westerner.
You are not Japanese. I can do it.
Now, for the first time, the true story of America's super agent, Frank Dukes, can be revealed.
Uncle Sam can't afford to let you get hurt.
I'm going to Hong Kong.
Frank is going to fight in the Kumite, and we're here to stop him.
An awesome human weapon.
It hurts me just looking at it.
Who infiltrates the Chinese underworld.
I did not come this far to stop now.
Take him.
To enter a forbidden competition.
Couldn't you just get me in?
Strict rules, no press.
You telling me you never break rules?
Where every fighting style, every worthy opponent, every deadly technique clash in savage combat.
Time to separate the men from the boys.
And only one will triumph.
Now I will break you.
International martial arts sensation Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport, the true story of the ultimate champion.
And welcome back to the Movie Hero Network. This is Wheel of Movies, episode number 68. And tonight we are talking about Bloodsport from 1988 in honor of the late, great Donald Gibb. I am Austin Pezhel, your host, as always. And with me is Richie Goodacre. How's it going, Richie?
Yeah, no, going good. Yeah, on the phone again. Computers don't like me. But yeah, and look, I'm aware I look like I just put my finger in the power socket. I will get that. Yeah, you know what?
You look like you got shocked by Forrest Whitaker's giant taser in this movie.
Yeah, definitely. Look, that will eventually be seen too. But hey, I know. But this is fun. Good to be back, and and in honor of Donald Gibb, and like we were just talking about him a few weeks ago. But no, this is good old sort of 80s cheese, and
Yes.
I always dig it, and he was fun in it.
No, this is a movie that's in my top 128, and not because I think it's like the greatest movie ever made, but man, this is total like 80s machismo. We had that Muscles and Machismo tournament, over our tournament fights. This is total like epitome of that. Just all kinds of wacky characters and personalities, just fighting and posing, and people that are shredded, and one-liners, and the 80s music and the synth score. Like, it's just kind of everything I love in this era of movies that I kind of miss. So it's just the shit I kind of like. So I just think this movie's so much fun.
I used Shazam on some of the tunes on this like 5 times. I'm like, I need to know.
Dude, that Fight to Survive song is great. That's a great 80s song.
That's a great song. And the guitar solo in that song is awesome too. I'm just like, yep, that's going to be my rotation.
Kind of the main thrust of this is, unfortunately, we lost Donald Gibb, and we were just talking about him because we talked about Revenge of the Nerds a few episodes ago for Robert Carradine, and it's kind of heartbreaking to know that, Richie, we just talked about that movie, and now we've lost 2 of the primary cast members from that movie within a couple of weeks of each other, and 2 guys that I met at the same convention because, at the convention where I was able to meet Donald Gibb back in 2023, I pulled the picture, so there he is right there. So I initially, kind of got everybody to sign my Revenge of the Nerds kind of poster thing that I showed off on that episode. I then went back and swapped shirts because I brought my Bloodsport shirt. One of them, I have 2 Bloodsport shirts, so I swapped that out and then got a Bloodsport 8x10 of him. After the fact, in addition to the signature on the Revenge of the Nerds thing, and I had to do that because I just love Bloodsport as well. So I was like, oh, I have to. So I have an 8x10 of him as Ray Jackson, in this movie. And yeah, he's one of those dudes that was like, he makes like goofy faces and kind of a weird dude, but he's fun. And he was super nice. We had a little moment where I was channeling his inner ogre where like, he was kind of watching all these people with cosplay and everything go by. And I was kind of staring at his table and I just look at him and go, man, look at all these nerds, right? He's just like, these nerds, all these nerds everywhere. Like, just, little fun, just aside. So we had a little moment, and yeah, he was a cool dude. So got a chance to ask him, a little bit about Revenge of the Nerds and Bloodsport at the actual Q&A. So he told some kind of fun stories about that, and a lot of his improv and whatnot on the show. So or in the movie. So we'll talk about Donald Gibb. Kind of throughout the episode. But yeah, this was kind of the thrust of that is like, look, I know we can't talk about Revenge of the Nerds because we just talked about Revenge of the Nerds. But Bloodsport is on the wheel somewhere. It's in my 128. And I was like, you know what? I know he's not like a huge name, in the movie business, but he's a very recognizable guy. And, he's made a ton of TV appearances, showed up in random movies and whatnot. He was in a famous commercial campaign for like a credit card company, like Capital One or something, as a Viking, for a little while.
Isn't he also in Bloodsport 2?
I can't remember if I've never seen Bloodsport 2, 3, or 4. So I couldn't say. They were all like direct to video without Van Damme, so I don't think I ever watched them.
I found that Bloodsport 2 and 3 came out the same, like filmed in the same, like they're both 96. That's weird.
Oh, they're probably filmed like back to back, like straight to video. Like I would imagine. Like it might be one of those things where they just were. Yeah, I guess he's in that, and you know what? I might have to watch it because Pat Morita's in it, James Hong is in it. Like some like recognizable people. So I guess he's still billed as Ray Jackson. So I guess he comes back. But it's a new character. It's not a guy playing Frank Dukes, so it's a different guy. Maybe I'll have to watch it at some point. I've never seen, just because I knew they were direct to video and and they didn't have Van Damme, so I just didn't bother. But let me get into a little bit of the movie. So this is directed by Newt Arnold, who is didn't really go on to do a lot. He's kind of just done a few low-key movies, and mostly known as an assistant director. So he was an assistant director for actually some pretty well-known. He was an assistant director on The Godfather 2. He was an assistant director on William Friedkin's 12 Angry Men, the one that came out in 1997. He was, mostly kind of a lot of assistant director credits, and this is one of his few actual directing credits. So he's in there. But it was released in February of February 26, 1988. This is a Cannon Films movie. For anybody who's filmed, I've talked a lot about Cannon Films, on tournament fights and whatnot. The company that went crazy in the 80s with all the over the top kind of exploitation sort of movies. They ended up working with Van Damme a couple of times. He was in a movie that they did called No Retreat, No Surrender, where he was kind of a henchman sort of guy. But he ended up doing kind of a martial arts exposition at their headquarters. And got a contract to do some movies. So he did this, Kickboxer, and Cyborg, all with Cannon Films before they went out of business in 1990.
I didn't get to watch it all, but weren't you talking about Cannon Films with Ryan Permerson for Cobra?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, Cobra is a Cannon Films movie. Yeah, there's a great documentary. I've always plugged it. It's a lot of fun. It's called Electric Boogaloo: The Rise and Fall of Cannon Films. So I highly recommend it because it's a fascinating documentary about this company that literally existed for like a decade and then went out of business because they made low budget movies and cranked out a whole bunch of low budget movies, but survived by having occasional hits. And that leads into my point that this was their biggest film of 1988, and they had a lot of movies every year because the guy who ran it, this Israeli guy named like Menachem something, like just cranked out movies, and they would film movies in like 4 weeks and then have them in theaters like 3 months later. I mean, like very, very quickly, just all kinds of projects. But the movie only cost $2 million to make and made $50 million. So it was a hit for Cannon Films. And because it had a decent little marketing campaign and whatnot. So their biggest movie of 1988. So, and most of the kind of background or tidbits about the movie come from the life of Frank Dukes, the supposedly real guy. He's a real guy, but essentially to sum everything up, Richie, he's full of shit. It's a cavalcade of
Oh,
bullshit.
I was when like initially
Yeah.
initially when I watched this, and then and because I when I initially watched this, like yeah, I mean I came to it late. I mean I was probably like I don't know, I was probably late teens, 2016, 17, but I watched this and I didn't realize it was based on a real guy, and then
Yeah.
it said, and then it says at the end, it was based on a real guy. I'm like bullshit.
Bullshit.
All
Yes.
that happened. Come
Yeah,
on,
because nobody knows who he is. Anybody who actually knew him or any other people like in the martial arts community or even the early MMA community, says that he would tell these tall tales of being like a spy for the CIA, and like doing all these undercover military things, and that the kumite that he went to supposedly, which I don't believe a word of it, was like in the Bahamas and had all these things, and yeah, he had like all these knockouts in a row, and he was just the baddest dude on the planet. He was undefeated at like 300-0 or something, whatever. But the first time he ever confronted a real fighter at a martial arts expo, he got into an altercation, got his ass kicked like immediately, and then they made excuses that the guy had like brass knuckles or something, which everybody, including John McCarthy from UFC, who was there, says that's not true at all. Anybody who's ever looked into anything in his background, I'm not going to go over everything. I will say, Richie, if you ever have spare time, click on Bloodsport on Wikipedia. There's a link to, you can click on Frank Dukes, like the guy. The Wikipedia is a cavalcade of bullshit. It's just like, it's all like Frank Dukes claims this, but everybody else says that's not a real thing. Frank Dukes claims this. All these people say that never happened. Frank Dukes claimed this. All these people said that never happened. All
he's
this
like,
kind of stuff. Yeah.
He's like the Hulk Hogan of fighting.
Yeah, he just made up all these tall tales about all these amazing things that he did or places that he went or people that he fought. And essentially everybody and their mother who ever had any association with him or looked into any of his claims has said he's full of it. So he's full of baloney. He's full of balderdash. He's full of hullabaloo, whatever you want to call it. So he still insists to this day that, everything he says is true, but the vast majority opinion is that he's full of it. So, and none of
he went,
true.
so he said, he reckons he went to a kumite on the Bahamas. Isn't it like are you sure he didn't just play like, isn't it Dead or Alive, the video game kind of?
Yeah, kind of. Well, I'll get to the video game stuff in a minute, but yeah, essentially. So I won't go over everything, but it's a very entertaining Wikipedia page. I'll say that. So anybody wants to look into it, click over from the Bloodsport thing. You can click on Frank Dukes, read the Wikipedia. It's very entertaining of all the claims. But coming out of that, this movie did come out of the tales he told, and it makes for an entertaining movie. I'll say that. A fictional movie about this mysterious underground tournament. And all these fighters from all over the world with these different styles fighting. It makes for a fun movie. I'll say that. I like the movie, but it's a complete work of fiction from everything I can see. So, but yeah. Well, anyways, we'll get into that a little bit more. But yeah, that's most of the stuff is like about Frank Dukes. So you can go read about that on your own. Two other things is that this movie, legitimately, after it came out, there's more interesting stuff about the legacy of this movie and what happened after the fact. The people who developed the Mortal Kombat video game said this movie was legitimately an inspiration for that. This sort of like underground violent tournament. The Johnny Cage character is directly, they said, influenced by Jean-Claude Van Damme, including the split nut punch directly, from him. So yeah, it is like a direct rip of that. And yeah, just this idea of all these, kind of crazy characters, coming together for a tournament is Mortal Kombat. So,
which is kind of funny that he would go on to do a Street Fighter movie.
And then he would Van Damme actually ended up being a playable character, the Bloodsport character in Mortal Kombat 1. So it all kind of came full circle that he actually got to voice some of that. And then, the people who started UFC, and Richie, I know you're an MMA fan, UFC fan, but the people who organized those first couple of UFC tournaments, those like crazy off the wall first like 3 UFC tournaments, you see footage of it.
They didn't have any rules as like anybody. It was just basically, you'd have like a huge guy versus a small dude. Yeah, you'd have like even the commentators didn't really know what they were commentating on. They felt like I'm making the rules up as we're going along, kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah. The total free for all that was like UFC 1 and 2, essentially. Yeah, like you said, with like big, giant, 400-pound guys against 150-pound dudes, and all the different fighting styles. You had like just street brawlers, and then guys like Ken Shamrock or some of those guys that had legit training. Then you had the Gracies, the guys who knew the jiu-jitsu, and all the grappling and whatnot. But yeah, the kind of variety of people that were in those was very much again influenced by Bloodsport. So Bloodsport's influence on the MMA and kind of martial arts community did spread beyond that, and there were guys in this movie that then took styles that saw this. The one guy, I'd have to pull his name, but the guy who plays Paco, he's the Muay Thai guy with the goatee. That's kind of badass. The guy that eventually fights Van Damme right before Van Damme fights Chung Lee, and they're trading the kicks to the ribs and all that back and forth, like that Muay Thai guy. He's a legit like Muay Thai specialist, and that guy for real brought a lot of attention in the West to Muay Thai, and ended up starting like his own thing, I think in California, and he's a legit badass guy for Muay Thai. So like there were some styles that weren't familiar to Westerners essentially that got then widespread, and Muay Thai is really big now, obviously. Even there's stuff on different fight networks where you can watch Muay Thai tournaments and whatnot. So the influence of this movie followed well beyond the movie. That's kind of my point.
So it's as cheesy as it is, and you feel the parts and flaws, but it's it's a more revolutionary movie than maybe some people give it credit for.
So we'll get into it. Quick box office for around that time. What was kind of tooling around the multiplex, February of 1988. A lot of the stuff that was kind of in the theaters, Richie, was like holdovers from the holiday season that were still doing well. In theater stuff from like December. So you had things like Good Morning Vietnam, Moonstruck, Wall Street, Broadcast News, The Last Emperor. So movies like that. The stuff that came out kind of 3 Men and a Baby was also still making money, still very, very big. And then the stuff that kind of came out around the same time, The Serpent and the Rainbow, kind of underrated Wes Craven movie, Action Jackson, the Carl Weathers movie, She's Having a Baby, movie called Satisfaction. So not like most of the stuff that was kind of in the theater at the time was holdover stuff from the holiday season, a few Oscar type movies, things like that. So
and I guess this was probably still. I mean, maybe you're getting into that time where January, February movies weren't like
the highest quality stuff at the time.
Or biggest, easier. Yeah, maybe that. I don't know. I wasn't even around in 1988 yet, so probably it might have still been seen as like a bit of a dumping ground for studios.
But I mean, it might have been a perfect time for a movie like this to again come out and thrive. Sometimes you get a movie like this that's just kind of a silly, breezy, martial arts kind of action movie, and ended up being a hit. So maybe it was kind of the perfect time for that. So I mean, we can start getting into the movie. Another one of these movies, Richie. It's not a plot heavy movie. It's not like a lot of plot going on.
Basically, if we ever reviewed, I mean, we did review we reviewed Mortal Kombat, but if we reviewed other Mortal Kombat movies, in the future too, it'll be like person gets ready to fight, and then they fight basically. There's things that happen before that, with Van Damme and love interest, but it's just like or the FBI, but you're like but it's like basically this one person preps to fight another person, they fight. Then that person preps that fight person, they fight, and then
I mean, there's a little bit of backstory. You see a little bit of Van Damme's training with his sensei, with his mentor. You get a little bit of pieces of some of the other fighters, but it's essentially I mean, the subplot of the movie involving Forrest Whitaker of all people and Norman Burton, one of the early Forrest Whitaker movies. It's just he's kind of gone sort of MIA from the military. I think it's very vague of like what he's actually doing. Like he's supposed to be going somewhere else, I guess, on some kind of military assignment, and it said he goes to the Kumite, like he had apparently already asked for permission or something, but then they kind of tried to deny it at the last second, so he slips off and goes anyways. So they sent some guys to come bring him back, but they're not successful at bringing him back until after the tournament. It's a very like loose plot, like loose kind of like subplot. There's not a whole lot to it.
This is Forrest Whitaker pre Lazy Eye. So it was weird.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he kind of looks very normal here in 1988. He was only, from what I could tell, 27 at the time. So yeah, this is one of his very early movies. He had done Platoon the year or two before this, and then he was also in Good Morning Vietnam. We just talked about Good Morning Vietnam, so technically he was in 2 movies at the time. But yeah, he's kind of one of the station tech guys, in that movie, just kind of tooling around. So he had done a few things. He was kind of a character actor. But didn't really break out, as a big actor till probably the 2000s. But yeah, I mean, that's like there's not much to that subplot. I mean, we can talk about it briefly and kind of move on to the turn because there's not much that goes on. They go there, they ask around, they find him once, he leads them on a little chase, leads them around.
They find him. They find him once. They and then he, I guess they threaten him with a taser. And then Van Damme fights these other 2 guards, and then they're just like, okay, you win. I'm like, oh, you didn't put up much of a fight, didn't you?
Oh yeah, man, we can't bring this guy in. All right, we give up. All right, just fight in the tournament and we'll go home after. That's essentially the whole side plot of that movie. Yeah, there's not a lot to it. And then same thing with the love interest plot of this movie. Again, very light love interest. Actress is Leah Ayres,
she's so fucking hot though. Oh my god.
No, I agree for sure. But yeah, I was trying to see what else she had been. She's not in a lot of actual movies. She's in a slasher movie called The Burning. That's really good from 1981 when she's a little younger. Here, she mostly was kind of a TV actress. Made appearances on The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, Married with Children, Who's the Boss, Walker Texas Ranger.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember seeing an episode of Walker Texas Ranger.
Yeah, so she did a little mini kind of stretch on Walker Texas Ranger on 3 episodes. So a few things of that. Mostly kind of a TV actress, working TV actress. Her last credit is actually on Sliders in 1998, so she hasn't worked in a while. She's kind of there just for a little bit of eye candy. Yeah, her plot is essentially the same one you've seen in a lot of movies, where she's trying to buddy up to anybody she can, in her as a journalist to try to get into the Kumite to get the story on it. She's like a journalist, and eventually shacks up with Van Damme for a night and is able to kind of worm her way into the tournament. That's about it. Yeah, it's not much to it.
But when she is in the tournament, she goes. I think she said something about being in disguise. She's like, I have no qualms about being in disguise to get the story. I'm like, maybe she said that out loud. I'm like, shut up, like
that. And she's also wearing this bright, sparkly red dress with her hair up and everything like that. She's not exactly like incognito, in this thing. She looks like she's going to a beauty pageant when she gets to the actual place. She's not exactly going low key in some robe or just jeans and a shirt. You know what I mean? She's wearing this giant, prom queen outfit essentially when she gets there.
Yeah, it's like, oh, where does she go? Oh yeah, no, like you weren't even wearing sunglasses or any disguise. Yeah. I knew that you were. Yeah, the fact it would be funny if she said that she was undercover right in front of people. I'm just imagining someone going, what? Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry.
Yeah. So there's not much to that. Yeah, the scenes with her and Van Damme don't exactly sizzle off the screen. You know what I mean? Like the one dinner scene they have, and a couple interactions. There's not much to it. It's really not it's not a focus.
They supposedly they do sleep together, but you don't. It's not really that. It's not like a hot, passionate kind of thing. It's just like, oh yeah, that you can. They just wake up one morning. And then they kind of...
You see more of him than her. You see him pulling up his Speedos, and you see Van Damme ass, showing off his ass in this movie like he does in Universal Soldier. So, yeah, you get more of him than her. But, yeah, again, not much to that plot. We don't need to hit on it a lot. Yeah, the main thrust of the movie is the Frank Dukes character and kind of his journey through the tournament. You do get a nice kind of... I will say I totally forgot about... some of the ADR in this movie is really bad. Some of the kind of the voice dubbing. The guy, whoever is dubbing the young Frank Dukes in those scenes, where he's hanging out with the kids, is so bad. It's so bad.
I could forgive because I was watching this and I'm like, look, this movie's fun, but you got to remember like majority of the acting in this movie is
terrible. It's bad.
but like but
Yes.
especially from like the young Frank Sully.
Oh my
the,
god, yeah, it's so
the,
bad.
the way he was delivering the lines, I'm like, oh my god, this is insane.
Apparently, it's a guy named Pierre Raffini who you can't even click on Wikipedia. So probably just some like random like French actor, and they had to like overdub his lines. But yeah, whoever's doing it is very much like oh, Mr. Tanaka. It's very like you can train me in the martial arts. It doesn't even sound like Van Damme like at all. Like I don't know why you wouldn't just get like. Because they eventually flash forward to Van Damme, and he's got a little bit of a kind of curlier haircut, instead of being kind of slick back like he does later. Like, screw it, dude. Just have Van Damme playing a little younger, than what he is. Like, nobody would really care. Like, I really don't think anybody would.
You couldn't get a young Belgian actor. I don't know, actor at that time just to do the. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't going to be that hard.
Yeah, that stuff was kind of cringy. It was very, very poorly acted. The guy who plays Tanaka is okay. That's Roy Chow, by the way, who's a character actor who's been in like a million things. I knew him, I just didn't put the pieces together. He's in Indiana Jones: The Temple of Doom. He's Lao She, the guy in the prologue of Temple of Doom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the dude sitting across from the table, from Indy that passes him the poison, and whatnot. The poison you just drank, Dr. Jones. That sort of, he's that guy. And I was like, oh, it's Lao She. Okay, cool. So I recognized him. Yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff and a bunch of TV, a bunch of movies and whatnot, especially a bunch of Chinese films. So yeah, he's been working since like the 50s or something. That dude's been around. He's even in Enter the Dragon along with Bolo Young. We'll talk about it, who's also in Enter the Dragon. So a little bit of Bruce Lee kind of side stuff there. But yeah, like I recognize him, but he's fine. Like he's totally like a legit. He's probably the best actor in the movie, honestly. Like he's the one who has the most experience, kind of doing this thing. Yeah, he's all right. Yeah, but the scenes with them, once you actually they fast forward to Van Damme and it's him, training with the Tanaka guy. I always enjoy kind of a good training, sequence. Yeah, good. And there's a lot of montages in this movie. It has as many montages as Rocky IV, which it relies on that. But again, that's kind of why I like it. It's a lot of 80s music, the score, a lot of just kind of breezy montages. Yeah, you get like the stuff where he's training, blindfolded, which will come back again later, which is going to come back. When you see the movie, you're like, okay, the blindfolded thing's going to come back. Oh my god, the bit where he ties him to the trees and he's stretching him with the ropes into the splits. Oh my god.
Yeah. And I guess that would doing the splits would be like a big thing. Because didn't he did a commercial like years later where he's like that he's pretending to do a split between two trucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's sort of his flexibility would always be like, or his perceived flexibility was always like a kind of a trait that like was sort of synonymous with Jean-Claude Van Damme. But yeah, that when he ties it, I'm like, oh fuck that. My groin muscle hurt just looking at that. I'm like,
just watch it. Oh yeah, but they do show off the fact that he does the splits like several times in the movie, because not only does it do it there, they have the bit where he's doing it in the hotel room, between the two chairs, and then of course he's doing it, and it's a great shot though when he does it later when he's doing it like on top of that temple or whatever overlooking Hong Kong. It's a really cool shot for what it is. I'll give him that. Like it's a damn good shot of him like doing the split on that kind of flat surface, overlooking everything. It's a cool shot, so I'll give it. That's a trailer worthy shot for what it is. Good stuff.
Yeah. No, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So but you kind of get a little bit of the backstory. Then pretty quickly he's off to Hong Kong. They don't really like explain, Richie, who gets invited to the Kumite and how. Like
at least in Mortal Kombat you're like, okay, we chased you up because of certain skills, or we heard about you. Where it's this one, it's like, I got an invitation. Okay, how all right, why?
Because he gets there and the guys who are doing the check-ins or whatever are like, you're not from the Tanaka clan. I don't believe you. And it's like, you invited me, dude. Like, what do you mean I'm not invited?
Yeah,
Like, it's kind of weird. It's a little weird when he gets there.
check with admin. Like who send out the invites? Come on.
Right. Well, and even to my point, I could almost see some of the other fighters. Obviously, Bolo Young, we'll get to him as Chong Li, like he's the previous champion, so he gets invited, of course. You can see some of the other guys look like they're professional fighters, who probably had various tournament things in other countries. I don't quite know how they got the little drunken monkey guy. Like, that's a little odd. Is that guy winning tournaments all over the place? The guy who was just hopping all over like a little monkey. Like I don't know about that guy. He's great though. He's fun. He's fun. You can see like the sumo guy's probably like a sumo champion, right? Like he probably is. But then like, let's get to Donald Gibb. How does Ray Jackson get an invite to this? What's he doing?
I don't know. Is this, like is he just an intimidating presence? But like, yeah, like if I like considering he's the only real, he's the only like American guy, isn't he? Basically,
essentially, yeah. Because they say if Van Damme if Frank Dukes wins, he'll be the first like Westerner to win it, I guess. Yeah. But like, I guess just because he's in the American military, but he's clearly not fully American. But I guess maybe he's an American citizen. I guess.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking, like, out of all like the other people, how was Ray Jackson chosen? But I don't know. That was
unless he's like the some underground barroom brawling champion or something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Is he like the greatest bouncer in the world? Is he the best? Yeah, like, doing some kind of stuff like you see in Lionheart where he's just fighting in like, weird roadhousey kind of things around the country. I don't know. Yeah, but how does a guy who clearly is not a professional fighter, he's just kind of a big brawler. Yeah, how does he get in this? He's a fun presence. I'm not saying he's not. He's great. Like, I love Donald Gibb, but yeah, how does he get an invite to like the greatest martial arts tournament on the planet?
He's got more of a vibe of a pro wrestler. He's like a Michael Hayes type character, but big.
yeah. And it would make sense if it was like he's a famous pro wrestler and they invite like a pro wrestler. That would actually kind of make more sense. Like, to a degree, just to get like, oh, we got a sumo guy, we got a pro wrestling guy, that sort of things. But regardless, he's there. They meet up at the hotel. They play the goofy like video game, the kind of Karate Masters, whatever kind of video game.
I was trying to like, I'm like, what is this video game? What is this game? But yeah, it's just like I was always really shit at playing like arcade games.
It's called Karate Champ, and apparently it's a real video game. So called Karate Champ, but it was only an arcade game, not like a console home game.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
Because it's got this weird. The controls are weird because it looked like two joysticks you controlled to like go up, down, left, and right. Like you had to kind of maneuver it in different, like go left, right, and then up. To do like a spinning kick or something. Like the way they're kind of playing it. It looked kind of interesting.
Yeah. And he was like, it's like, aren't you a bit young to? Oh, what was the line?
He's just like, aren't you a bit young to be in the Kumite? And then like Frank is just like, aren't you a bit old to be playing video games? And I'm like, nobody's too old to play video games.
No, I'm saying video games, man.
I'm 40. I still play video games. I love video games.
My mid to late 30s. I got all the consoles and shit.
Yeah, I still go to barcades and play arcade. Dave Buster's, but I play video games. I love video games. They're fun. It's funny because you think he's gonna be. You think that Ray Jackson initially is going to be like kind of an antagonist because his initial scene is he gets on that trolley, and he's kind of being a little obnoxious, drinking beer, kicking his feet up on the chairs. He's like hitting on the women, on the train, and dude kind of gives him a side eye. So you think he's going to be like maybe an antagonist, like sort of a guy he's going to have to fight eventually. But no, it's like he's just kind of being. He's kind of being ogre with a beard, essentially just kind of a little bit. And he likes him.
Or he's sort of he's kind of like being like almost like Johnny Cage, like, and it's like being very being a bit arrogant and kind of up himself, but like he's not like overall the bad guy, but you kind of you might get that vibe initially, but he's but he was cool. I in a way, I mean, it would have been interesting if they actually fought.
Yeah, you kept waiting for them to like have a fight against each other and to see how they would kind of play that as far as like, would they be like sort of taking it easy on each other or putting on a show, or how would they decide, if they would actually fight? But yeah, they kind of go the other route where, we'll get to it. But yeah, where Ray actually ends up fighting Chong Li, before, Van Damme fights him. So, which makes sense again narratively because it gives him kind of a revenge aspect, to the final thing. So. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they get there. He does the trailer worthy moment where they need him to like prove his skill. So he does the brick bashing, thing where he hits the top brick and the bottom one explodes, completely silly and preposterous. But again, a lot of fun. Makes for a good trailer moment.
We will honor your invitation.
Well, on your invitation. No, but it's great. Yeah, that Ray's just like, oh yeah, did you see that? Holy shit! Just kind of. Yeah. He's a lot of fun. Like his reactions are a lot of fun, kind of throughout the movie. He's just kind of, blown away by a lot of stuff he's seen because he's like, wow, there's actually legit skilled people here. Unlike me, I just smash bricks over my head, because I'm a big giant dude. But yeah, we meet Chong Li, and that's my T-shirt, by the way. I have it says you are next in that kind of ADR voice. One of my favorite things is whoever's doing, I don't know if it is Bolo Young or somebody else doing his like dubbed voice because Bolo Young didn't speak English. But yeah, like the voiceovers and the one-liners, the you are next. It's very Drago like, Rocky IV.
Yeah. No, I thought that was it's corny, but it works.
You break you break brick, now I break you, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's very like you can see Drago saying the same stuff. Yeah.
You break brick, but brick don't hit back.
Yeah, that's a direct line, by the way. It's a direct rip of Enter the Dragon, which there's a lot of nods to Enter the Dragon and Bruce Lee in this movie, primarily because again, Bolo Young was in Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee and they were friends. And before he died. And so there's a couple of direct nods to Enter the Dragon. The one thing being the brick line, because there's a line in Enter the Dragon where one of the guys does like he breaks a board in front of Bruce Lee and Bruce Lee says, board don't hit back, that sort of thing. So that's a direct line to that. And the first guy Bolo Young fights, if you notice, is a guy that looks suspiciously like Bruce Lee and does the same stretches that he does. He's doing the kind of sort of like stretching thing. That's a direct nod to him just wiping out Bruce Lee essentially. So but yeah, he's great.
Yeah, no, it's really that's yeah. I appreciate those nods, and yeah, no, it was good. I like a good like machismo one liner, even if it's like if it's borrowed from another movie, but it was fun.
And one of his great features, Chong Li, is that he's constantly like flexing his pecs, which is great. He has great pecs. He's just constantly kind of popping them up and down, throughout the movie. Every time he's about to fight, or he's like blowing his nose, like he's doing very like heel wrestler kind of stuff, which I appreciate.
Yeah, very Chris Masters back in the.
Yeah, I think you could give Chris Masters a run for his money with the pep pocket. He's pretty good, with the popping of that. But no, I mean he's great. He's mostly just there to be kind of the physical, intimidating presence. And he is an intimidating dude. Like the stuff when he turns on the rage, in this movie on the couple of people he takes out, early on, like it's pretty brutal. I mean, oh my god, the one guy dude where he's got him dazed, almost like in a Mortal Kombat thing where he's literally almost doing the full like thing, and then just straight kicks him in the leg and like breaks his leg in half. Like you're just like, oh man,
oh god,
disgusting. Yeah, so it's pretty nasty.
Yeah,
it's good.
This way, because it's interesting because I guess at the time it was pretty brutal, but like but we don't usually dish out the ratings here that much. But like Bloodsport here is like rated R18, which is interesting.
Oh, weird. Is it just for the blood and stuff, or some of the violence? Is that mainly?
Yeah, I guess so. But maybe if it came out now, it probably would get a lesser rating. But
I'd say it's got to be lesser now. It's very tame compared to a lot of movies. I mean, there's a few yeah, some blood here and there, but it's really not that bad. Like it's a little bit, here on the face here and there. Yeah, you see kind of how brutal he is. Frank is fighting, very honorably. He beats a couple people here and there. Yeah, I find it interesting that there's like 3 rules where it's like you can knock the guy out, you can basically make him tap out. They say mate, or you just like knock him off the platform. Like, what if you just get kicked, but you're not knocked out, but you like stumble off the platform? Is the fight over?
Yeah, like you just lose your footing for a bit. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, you get kicked, you like fall down. You're not out, you just kind of roll out of it, but like you fall off. Like, is the fight over? Like, because Ray Jackson just straight up takes a guy and just like tosses him off the the rampway there, and dude's just like out, I guess, and he's just done for. Yeah,
that's a lot of fighting games that took obviously
out.
Took inspiration for that. Yeah, where you could do not in like Tekken necessarily, but like I know in Dead or Alive and like I think Soul Calibur, you could be like, yeah, ring out.
The original, I don't know if you ever played. It was on PlayStation called Battle Arena Toshinden. It was one of the first 3D games on PlayStation. Yeah, there was a ring out thing where if you knocked them off the, out of the ring, it ended the fight. So maybe that's kind of where they get it from. Also, yeah, we see Ray Jackson, a couple of times. It's a total brawler thing where like the guy will get a couple of kicks on him, but then he just like straight up one time just Hulk rages out and just like hammer smashes the guy like on the head, in the face, and just knocks him out cold. Like I said, he's just like tossing dudes kind of left and right. He's just kind of straight up, that brawling style. But it's fun to see.
Well, in the first one, because he got like, it took him a while. It took him a little while to get going because he was getting kicked in the face, and then like Jean-Claude Van Damme, he goes, "Did you see that?" Like, what took you so long?
Yeah, there's some good stuff. Yeah, his reactions to Van Damme getting like the fastest knockout. Oh my god, fastest I've ever seen.
Holy shit! It's his first Kamute.
He broke the fucking record. Yeah. Again, he's fun. He doesn't have like. Yeah, again, I love Donald Gibb. He's not like a Shakespearean actor, but like again, for what he's asked to do, I think he's a lot of fun. You can't help but kind of smile. Like he plays this biker brawler kind of perfectly, for what it is. Just spitting one-liners, just acting like he's the hot shit, the baddest man on the planet. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, they kind of it basically crescendos. There's some great, like we talked about, the great montages throughout. I love the score, actually, the kind of undercurrent score in the fight scenes where it's like it's a little bit of the Fight to Survive song, but like in a strung out synthy kind of score. I really like it. It's really good.
Like it's like the what was that? That's the Kurt Angle theme song TNA. The Howell, that was a rip off something. It was a rip off of another fight theme. That dun 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 dun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That kind of that synthy kind of vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of this like it's kind of got an Asian-y kind of vibe to it, like sort of it feels like music you would hear on like a character select screen on a video game for like a fighting game, kind of stretched out, but kind of cool. Like in a way, I could listen to this and kind of jazz out to it. I like it.
Yeah. Choose your fighter.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, there's a ton of montages where they're kind of showcasing, all the different fighters. Yeah, we see the little like monkey looking dude, like hopping on people. Yeah, his main thing is that he knows how to do takedowns, and he can like squeeze under people's legs, and eventually once he gets you down, he like karate chops you in the head a bunch of times. You see him like karate chopping coconuts at the beginning of the movie, doing his thing. The sumo guy is just basically like bear hugging. Yeah, he does a backbreaker to one guy. Did you catch that?
I saw that. He did a backbreaker. Yeah.
Yeah, he straight up like gorilla presses the guy and then just pops him down and backbreakers him. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Yeah, one guy, the little monkey dude, he just straight up grabs a hold of him, just bear hugs him, and like cracks his back. Like that's fun. You get the Muay Thai guy who's awesome. I think his name's Paco in the movie. He's cool. He just looks like kind of a badass dude. I like him a lot. He ends up he's the one who fights Van Damme before Chong Li. They have a fun back and forth. The one guy, watching it this time, the one black guy that Van Damme fights who does the over-exaggerated like hand motion thing, he looks like Israel Adesanya, did he not?
A little bit, yeah.
Because I know you're a UFC fan, so you know what that reference is to with Israel Adesanya. He looked a lot like him, I swear.
He does look a bit like Izzy, and I'm sure Izzy's seen this movie a few times. He did a bit. He was like, just to build the hair and I could see that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just pulled up one where he's got similar hair, because he's got kind of a flat toppy hair. He looks a lot like him. I swear, the guy in the movie. So fair enough. We get to see. Yeah, he's taking out people. It's kind of winding down. It's sort of a single elimination, type thing. We get to see a lot of fighting styles. There's a lot of karate. There's some kung fu going on. Yeah, but I think the ones they focus on are the kind of more over exaggerated characters. You have the little monkey dude, the sumo guy, the Paco Muay Thai guy. We kind of wind it down and we're having a lot of fun. Again, it's all great. The middle of the movie where they hit the full on fight to survive montage is so 80s. It's so great. I love it. You're just seeing people punching and kicking each other, and it's like kumite, kumite, kumite. I found you survive. It's great. It's so good. It just cooks, man. I love that montage. A lot of fun. Yeah, the tension kind of ratchets up though. It gets a little more serious when Ray Jackson is getting down to essentially sort of the final four or the Elite Eight or something like that. You're kind of getting down to the final couple of people. Ray draws Chong Li. This is my one thing with the movie, and it's not so much with the movie, it's more of the character, is that Ray Jackson would have won that fight.
Yeah.
He straight up Chong Li gets a few shots in. Ray rages out like he does. He does a hit and a double axe handle and straight up has Chong Li down on the ground. And if he had just hopped on the dude and hammer fisted him and ground pounded him, he would have won.
But he was too thrilled the fact that he did that. He's like, yeah, look what I did.
Yeah, look what I did. Yeah, I got him for a K. Yay. Yeah. And then he gives him time to recover. And but watching the movie, I mean, do you agree? He would have won the fight had he stayed on top of him and pounded him out. He would have beat him. I think he would have. He had the upper hand.
Yeah, but then we probably would have got
Van Damme versus Ray essentially in the finals.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't have hated if they did that. You build this guy up and you're like, oh wait, it's actually Ray. I should have already worried about. Oh, yeah, I
right.
wouldn't have hated that. So I think he would have won. It was just sort of I think but it was established that he's got this macho ego about him. So it does work that he let his own hubris to kind of
downfall.
Downfall. Yeah. So I don't know how he's we'll get to it. I don't know. I mean, I know he's in hospital. I don't know how you don't die from what happened.
Yeah, because essentially Chong Li curb stomps him right on the mat. Yeah, he basically does a full-on Seth Rollins curb stomp with the dude, with his head on the mat. And I think it's just implied that he suffered some kind of head injury, and was out. But we don't know the extent of it really, because we don't even really revisit Ray until after the tournament's over and we see him in the hospital. And he's kind of coming out of it and he's drinking beer and whatnot. But I mean, I guess, he's a tough dude. So he hung in there. But he got knocked out and knocked silly. You have to have that. I guess it's the simple plotting of you have to have that motivation, the revenge factor, for him to really be pissed off at Chong Li. And Chong Li, you start to turn on it because he's a fun character at first, kind of he's also always playing to the crowd, doing the kind of just constantly trying to rile him up. But he also kills another one of the competitors too, unnecessarily, after you already had another guy down, and then when they turn their back on him and whatnot.
Yeah. So they're. But I think I think there's also the intimidation factor with the crowd too, where he's so intimidating. They're like, we don't approve what you've done, but I guess we will.
I guess we'll still allow you to fight the final fight, even though you killed a guy unnecessarily. For no reason. Because it wasn't like he kicked the guy in the head and the guy, had an internal hemorrhage and he died. He's got the second to the last guy. He's got completely down and out of it, and then he snaps his neck or something, just out of nowhere.
Just just because he could.
Just because he can, yeah, because he's a dick. So, yeah, but yeah, you have that kind of motivation. Van Damme has to kind of get serious and kind of recenter himself. And yeah, we get to this final fight, but I do love the way the final fight is. It's staged very similar to most Van Damme movies. If you see him, it's very similar to Lionheart and Kickboxer, where like he gets the shots in early, he's kind of winning, and then the other guy does something to get the advantage for a little while. In wrestling terms, Richie, he puts the heat on him for a little while until you kind of get the crowd sympathetic, and then he Van Damme's up, he hulks up and kind of does and finishes him off. But in this case, he pulls a dirty. He's a heel wrestler. He pulls like a dirty thing where he tosses some kind of powder in his eyes to where he can't see.
He does the Mr. Fuji thing.
Yeah, he did a mysterious Asian powder to the eyes kind of thing, something or other. We don't quite know what it is, but it kind of blinds him, as he's getting his ass kicked, and then Van Damme has to, of course, full circle thing, channel the blindfold, fighting stuff that he did, just kind of feeling everying out.
Probably the most, I guess, one of the more iconic sort of scenes in the movie was where he's like. And it's probably just because it's cheesy, not great acting, but it's also fun. Where he's like, realizing that he's like, does a vision, and he's just going, ah!
And then he like focuses back up, and like brings it back together, and then starts like blocking all the shots. No, it's great. All that stuff, the over exaggerated, like the shirt that I had with the Donald Gibb picture is him doing the giant like leaping split, like leapfrog kind of thing, as he ducks under him. It's great. Yeah, he does the super high flying like roundhouse kicks, which is the signature. But I mean, they look great. Like even when they pop the slow motion on those, it looks awesome. Like I mean, the dude was. And Michael Jai White has talked about this. Like, he's a legit dude. Like, Van Damme is a legit fighter. He said he sparred with him a couple of times. And dude is, like, deadly accurate with those kicks to where, like, he could do, in the fight choreography, he could do the kicks to where they would come, like, 2 or 3 inches from your face and be super accurate when he would throw them. So, like, he's a legit dude, for what he does.
Yeah. No, it's definitely... Yeah, he seems believable when you watch it. So yeah, no, and that's what you want from your action star, I think sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean he can I mean it's him doing everything, which I appreciate. It's not some like stunt double. He does all of his fights. The fights follow a formula, that's fairly predictable. Yeah, he gets the upper hand. The dude does something to kind of make the comeback. He gets bloodied up a little bit, but he channels his inner whatever, and is able to make the comeback. And yeah, I also love there's so many classic just like Van Damme isms, if you will, in this. Yeah, the thing you mentioned, the slow motion where he like does the shot to the gut and just does the it's just great. Like he has to do all the over exaggerated yells and screams and whatnot. But that's what I kind of love about it. Like it just embraces the Van Damme of it all. It embraces the silliness. It's like this movie. It knows what it is and just leans into it. It's giving you what you want out of a crazy over the top, corny action movie, martial arts movie. It is what it is. It knows exactly what it is, which is why I love it.
See a lot of like commentary that like Frank cheats just because he hits him in the balls. I don't know if it's like cheat. Not cheat.
Well, I mean, he does it to the sumo guy. To be fair, he doesn't do it to Chong Li. Well, I mean, but like. The sumo guy, how else were you going to get him down? You got to hit him where he's vulnerable, right? I mean, they say it's full contact, so there's really nothing off limits per se, right? Yeah. So it's not really illegal.
They recreate that scene at a parody scene, like Hot Shots Part 2, and then he hits him in the balls, and then his balls drop out his mouth.
He drops the chestnuts out of his mouth or whatever. Yeah, that's very funny. Yeah, it's a good spot. But yeah, I mean, he's able to, of course, defeat Chong Li, but he makes him tap out. Essentially, makes him say "Mate" to just kind of finally humiliate him. He gets Ray's bandana back, and yeah, I mean, and then he heads off, and he kind of has one last moment with Ray. It's a very like kind of homoerotic moment between him and Ray. I just have to say it. Like the lines that they have is just like, Ray's just like anytime, anywhere, any place, I'll be there for you, man. And he's just like, I love you, Ray. It's just like you think they're gonna kiss because he actually like leans in like he's gonna kiss him. Like it's a little odd. Kind of yeah.
So it's like, is is that why he didn't like the chicks just like, oh, is that why he wasn't really into like a relationship? He wanted
He's more into the bromance, man.
man, he likes those hairy bears. You know what I mean?
Hey, he's the opposite. Sometimes they want the opposite of what they are. He's the cut, good looking, muscular dude, and he wants the kind of beer swilling bear. The opposite of that. Hey, whatever floats your boat, man.
Man,
Frank.
That's right, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was very homoerotic. Where it's just like, yeah, I it's funny when you go back to it because I don't know if they, when you look at it through those lenses, because people don't think of it at the time, but you're like, yeah, they're acting,
Yeah.
like really close.
Yeah.
It's just, I love you, dude. I'm just expecting like jazz music to be in the background.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to mention. So the next movie he does is Kickboxer, which have you seen Kickboxer as well?
Yeah, a long time ago. Probably,
Okay.
if I don't know if it's on the if it's on the wheel, I'd be watching it for like the second time, but it'd be like we're watching.
Gotcha. Well, I was just gonna say the guy who plays Tong Po in that movie, the kind of final boss of that movie, who fights him in the Taipei Deathmatch, is in this movie. His name's Michael Kesey, and he's the dude who gets his leg cracked in half by Chong Li. Yeah. In Kickboxer, he shaves his head and they put on some like fake tattoos on his face and stuff. But he plays the Muay Thai Tong Po guy in that movie. So it's the same actor essentially, and he's a real like legit badass like martial arts guy. But yeah, he's in that, and he ended up being in that, and also in he shows back up in Kickboxer Vengeance for a little bit. So with Kickboxer Vengeance, by the way, starring Dave Bautista.
Yeah. Now I was gonna say I like how like his John Bender's I love his movies. That's such an easy formula to just do direct to DVD sequels of.
Yeah,
just like Kickboxer Vengeance. I think there was two time cop movies. I'm pretty sure, but one didn't have There was obviously Universal Soldiers. There's like
Universal Soldier. The Returner with Goldberg. there's that one. Yeah. They have a real knack for like casting that. And I was gonna say, the Kickboxer thing is funny because there's like these like straight to video Kickboxer movies that don't have anything to do with that, and then they go back to Van Damme's Kickboxer movie where they have Kickboxer Vengeance, where he comes back as his character, and that one has. Like he's a Dave Bautista and like a few MMA guys, Alain Mousasi and George St. Pierre, a few of those guys.
Does it have Kimbo Slice? Was that before?
No, that's Ip Man 3 with Donnie Yen. Oh no, I'm sorry. Kimbo's not in that. Kimbo's in. I was thinking Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's in that. Kimbo is in Blood and Bone with Michael Jai White, which I But yeah, I was gonna say, and then there's another Kickboxer movie called Kickboxer Retaliation, and the main Mike Tyson's in that one. I'm sorry, yes, he is. He's in Kickboxer Retaliation, which is in 2018, and then the main big boss guy of that is the Mountain from Game of Thrones. That guy. So they follow a formula because Dave Bautista's like the big giant guy at the end, and then you have like an even bigger guy in the next one with the Mountain that he has to fight. So they get more and more ridiculous. I have seen both of them. I've only seen them once, but they're they're over there. They're fun enough.
I don't know if you can get much bigger than the Mountain though. Like you can.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he's about the biggest dude you could do realistically in any of those types of movies. But yeah, I just wanted to say because this one kind of goes hand in hand with Kickboxer. They kind of make a good similar double feature because that one has a revenge aspect to to it, where in Kickboxer, he doesn't fight at the beginning. His brother fights. His brother gets messed up really bad by Tong Po and is like in the hospital, and there's like kind of a hostage situation, and then he ends up having to kind of retrain himself, to then fight the big boss at the end, kind of a similar thing. It's just no tournament really. It's like it's more of like a, kind of action movie sort of thing.
Another tournament movie that kind of got left, wasn't as successful, got left at the wayside, is a movie I've seen a couple of times, is The Quest.
The Quest, yeah. And there's a couple of people that were involved with The Quest that were involved in Bloodsport as well. I think there was a few of the fight coordinators and whatnot, and I think even one of the writers. Frank Dukes is also involved in that. He kind of, I think, did some of the fight coordination and whatnot. The last time I remember seeing The Quest, I remember thinking, like, again, the plot is not very good. It's very corny. It's like he's got a ragtag group of like homeless kids running around helping them steal shit. It's really weird. But then like they get to the tournament, and I remember the tournament like being like a cool setup, but the fights not being very good, being kind of underwhelming compared to Bloodsport.
Yeah, I just remember I guess because I was just getting into fighting games and I saw that and I'm like, oh, this is cool, but I need to watch it again. I just remember that that was another tournament movie that came up sprung to mind. I'm like, oh yeah, he did The Quest.
I've seen it once or twice. It's not one of the ones I got back to because I remember the fights just not being as good as Bloodsport or Kickboxer. So I kind of I didn't go back to that one a lot. But yeah, the format is similar, where it's like another kind of underground mysterious tournament with all kinds of different wacky fighters, essentially, that kind of thing. So no, I mean, we'll kind of start wrapping up here. But yeah, Bloodsport, to me, just why I love it is it's just, again, it's 80s cheese and machismo, just kind of like it's unrepentant in what it is. I think you watch that trailer, that I played, exactly what you're getting in for. You're going in there to see, Van Damme and all these crazy fighters, do some really fun, fighting essentially. And you get a lot of it. Like, once they really get into the movie, you get the training montages, you get the 80s music montages, you get the big anthem, songs, you get the synthy score. You get these kind of over the top characters and the one-liners. You get the imposing, physical villain who, seems unbeatable, in what it is. I mean, it just is what it is, which is why I like it. It's just, I know exactly what I'm going to get when I sit down to Bloodsport, and I get exactly, what I want out of the movie, which is why it's in my 128. I just think it's super entertaining, for what it is. And it's still, while I Van Damme is not the greatest actor in the world. I think everybody knows that. Although he has been good in certain things. I think he's good in JCVD and he's good in Expendables 2 for what it is. He's all right. He has done some decent work here and there, but you can tell this is his first movie. He's not very good. And you can tell some of the other side actors are being dubbed over and, they're not great. But I'm not here for like a Shakespearean plot. I'm here for fighting and a tournament and for cheese and machismo and 80s music. That's what I'm here for. And I get it in spades, and I think it's super entertaining.
It's sort of like, you don't, if you go into it with like just going, this is going to be, it's a fighting movie, it's going to be great. It's like, I like use the Mortal Kombat comparison. It's like, I know people who go, oh, this is like, with the new one. It's like, oh, there's not much story line character development. I'm like, I don't, I get it, but also I don't care. I don't.
Well, you have to meet the movie at what it's presenting as well, to a degree. Like Mortal Kombat 2 is not pretending to be anything other than a fun adaptation of a fighting video game. That's what it is. And it's what it's giving you. It's giving you a shit ton of fighting and all the crazy over the top characters and some blood because it's Mortal Kombat. That's all I wanted, and I got it.
And you got Cole treated like an afterthought, but we'll get to that. That's very fun. That way they treat Cole in that movie. But this is the same. If you go and go, like this is just a fighting movie. You're gonna see a lot of crazy, a lot of wacky characters. You're not gonna. It's not like an in-depth character study on anything. It's just a full-on turn your brain off, fun movie. It's just like, it's what the the Fast and Furious movies started to be, until they were they wanted to be taken more seriously. So it's just dumb.
It's
It's
dumb fun. That's what it
dumb,
is.
dumb fun, and it's great. Yeah, I love it, and it's it's just like it's just one of those ones where you could just put it on anytime. It's easy watch. Like, oh yeah, I feel like watching Bloodsport.
No, I that's what it was. Is it used to come on cable a lot, and I would never really catch like the first 10 or 20 minutes, but like I would come into it in the middle. But it's totally a movie, Richie, we can come in the middle and it's like, oh, they're in the tournament, there's some fights, here's the music, yeah, we're just having a good time, like it's not like I missed anything, watching it back from start to finish. I didn't miss any like critical plot elements of the movie. It's not like it's like, oh man, I really missed out on that love story or the backstory of Van Damme. Because they, even in the final fight, they flash back to some of the training stuff, so like you don't even have to really catch that because they flash back to it, or just kind of channeling it again. So it's like you get the idea. Like you can come in this movie and like he's the main hero, he's the fighter. It's great, like it's so breezy.
Yeah, not doing like it's not like, I don't know, like it's not like Christopher Nolan levels, like storytelling or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not like
yeah. No, we've talked about that. There's some of these movies that we cover on here that like it's light on plot, but it's usually like that for a reason. Whether it's like a comedy or some kind of action movie or whatever. Like some of them they don't have to be the drama. It doesn't have to be Project Hail Mary. It's like this is just I'm here for some crazy '80s canon films, martial arts, man, and I get it, and I'm satisfied.
I'm 100% sure that's what Street Fighter is going to be later this year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If it's anywhere near as fun as Mortal Kombat 2 was, and just presenting and leaning into like the wackiness of that game, which the trailer certainly looks like they're leaning into all the wacky stuff from the game. Like, I don't get this. I've seen some weird reactions where people are like, "Man, it just looks dumb." I'm like it looks exactly like the fucking video game. What are you talking about? Like, I'm fine with that. Would you rather have the Van Damme movie where they try to make like a United Nations terrorist plot thing, of like, undercover espionage and like whatever, and taking it way too seriously? Like, no, this is what I want.
They even take it in the marketing. It's funny. Like I last heard that clip of like, I think he was on set. Cody as his character playing Street Fighter. It was funny.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they literally have the dude beating up the car in the trailer. Like the people who are making this movie know exactly what movie they're making, which I'm totally down for. Just like the people who made Mortal Kombat 2, they heard the criticisms of the first movie. They wanted more fighting, more characters, more blood. That's what we got, and people seem to be happy with it, like for those. So not every movie is made out to be like the next great like cinema classic. Like some movies are just made to be the best at what they are, which is like a video game adaptation or a martial arts movie. I talked a lot about a movie, The Protector, which I love with Tony Jaa. Like it has a ridiculously stupid plot of like him trying to get this baby elephant back. It's ridiculous. It's dumb, and the acting is terrible and the lines are terrible. But you know what? When he turns up the fucking heat in that movie and fighting 30 dudes, he's fighting Nathan Jones, and he's fighting the guy who would play Eddie Gordo in the Tekken movie, in that movie before Tekken, and like they're just having these insane fights. Like that's what I'm there for, man. Just give me the kick-ass action. That's what I paid to see.
Yeah, it's not in a different direction. It's not like obviously fighting, but one movie we talk about like liking is just because it's so dumb. The premise is so dumb, but it's entertaining. Like Baby's Day Out. It's like
yes, I want to see like. I go back to that movie because it's the closest we've gotten to a Three Stooges movie, a decent one like ever. Because it's just the premise is a baby running around the city and these three bumbling idiots getting into slapstick pratfalls trying to chase him, and it gives you exactly what the premise is. Like I don't get what the hullabaloo is. It's a stupid plot, but it's fun. That's what I want.
At one point, the baby sets a guy's balls on fire.
Balls on fire, right? Exactly.
And Janello's stomping his dick out. It's funny. Yeah,
it's funny. It's just not every movie is meant to be like this other level. It's just I can, and now if it's done poorly or if they just put no effort into it, I think you can tell. But when I think, Rich, you can tell when the filmmakers know what movie they're making and what they're going for. You know what I mean? And they just go for it. Like it's the ones that I think are trying to ride the line and they just can't decide what lane to go in, or if they're just doing that thing poorly. But like to me, if you're gonna make a movie like Bloodsport, they put effort into the choreography, into the characters, into the music, into the editing, and like made it the best 80s cheese that you could make, and that's what's great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, and it succeeds in that. So I think, just I feel like this is why this is why a good trailer exists. Like if you look at a trailer and you look, okay, this is what they're presenting. All right, and I know what I'm going to get. But if you, don't go expecting cinematic classic from something like Mortal Kombat or Bloodsport or thing like that. It's not going to win any.
well,
You know,
Well, that's what I mean. You watch. I played that trailer, right? And it's a total 80s trailer with the voiceover guy being like, the baddest fighter on the planet in the world's most dangerous underground tournament. Like, that's what I came to see, Like,
Yeah.
as they're playing the music, and you just see what does it show in that trailer, Richie? Does it show the stuff with like him sitting down to dinner with the girl, or the stuff with Forrest Whitaker? No, what does it show? It shows clips of the fighting. That's what it shows.
It shows fighting, yeah. So
Yeah. You want to see some fighting, you come see this movie. That's what it's showing,
Yeah. So like I don't know, you've got there's certain movies serve certain purposes. Obviously, I think like the Odyssey that comes out later this year, that's going to be gunning for Oscars and stuff like that. But but then then you got Street Fighter, which will just be dumb, and it's fine,
And that's fine, but you need those kind of movies every now and then as like a palate cleanser, man, to remind us like why fictional movies exist sometimes, of just like why, you can make like a silly, fun movie. And we all have those movies. I love Surf Ninjas, which is a stupid movie, but like I like it, because it's just, it knows what it is. Like we all have those movies that we love, that are just unrepentantly silly and just lean into what they are. I
know the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, Hard Target. I love that
Target.
movie.
Yeah, it's silly.
That
He
movie's
punches a snake. Like how could you not love it? So I don't know. It's whatever. We're getting off target. We'll start wrapping it up here. But yeah, your final thoughts real quick on Bloodsport, man, and we'll get out of here.
No, this movie's a lot of fun. Yeah, definitely. If you haven't watched it, I would recommend just if you want a good hour and a half of just kind of sitting back, just watching some good wacky characters in good fight choreography, as well as some 80s cheese. You'll have a good time, yeah. And I had a good time, yeah. Then it's good. One I should probably be in rotation more than it is. But that's why I like doing these shows, because it makes me revisit movies that I haven't done for a while. So definitely a great watch, and it's fun.
Yeah, totally. So, let's get some plugs and parting words, and we'll get to talking about another thing that knows exactly what it is: professional wrestling. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But Richard, anything you want to throw out there? What you got?
Yeah, you got learning marks here just in a bit. Just talking news, talking AEW coming up here in a bit, and other than that, I think I'll be on Rankin. Next week. I'm talking Jake Gyllenhaal movies. Jacob Bauer will be on that episode as well, and should be fun. Actually seen a lot of I've seen more of his filmography than I thought of. So I've seen majority of his movies.
And oddly enough, I've seen a good chunk, but I don't think enough to like do a 12 ranking. Oddly enough, I know it's weird. Like
So that will be that should be fun. And then I'll be on that. Then you can catch me in A set sometimes. Long time, first time, occasionally too. And just tonified sometimes to your ranker and all that jazz.
Yeah, for sure. And then we'll hopefully get back to spinning the wheel a little bit. Yes, we did this for Donald Gibb, but yeah, again, a fun movie to do. So a nice breezy movie, not something super heavy, but a movie that I think Donald Gibb was proud to be in. So it was this in front of the nerds that he was very proud of. So yeah, happy to honor him tonight. So we'll see what we spend next. Maybe it'll be another Van Damme movie. Hard Target might be on there somewhere. It might be. I know a few people throwing stuff like that in for wild cards. I might have Kickboxer on there as a wild card. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe Expendables too. I don't know. We'll see if we get another Van Damme movie. We'll find out. You can check me out mostly over on the Movie Hero Network. We did some Seen and Heard trivia last night. You can go back and check out if you'd like to see that. Why We Love Horror. I had my Jeopardy match uploaded, I think, last week, so you can check that over on Why We Love Horror. The next monthly mistake with myself and Wolfman on his channel Here's the Thing will be on Disaster Movie, the Freeburg Seltzer disaster of a fucking comedy. So we'll be drinking along to all the references in that movie, so that'll be fun.
Is that because Scary Movie's coming out?
Yeah, so we're doing 2 tie-ins for June, so we just kind of reversed the order because we're doing this for Scary Movie. So yeah, what hopefully will be a good parody movie, and we're doing the absolute worst one, and then in June, a little further in, to tie in with Disclosure Day, because Spielberg did a good War of the Worlds. We're going to do the Ice Cube War of the Worlds, which I knew was going to be a drinking game as soon as I saw it. So yes, we will be doing that as well later in June. So yeah, that movie is drinking game worthy 100%. So that'll be wacky. So you can always subscribe to Movie Hero Network if you happen to find this video of us talking about Bloodsport. Subscribe. We do the show every 2 weeks, so you can check in with us with me and Richie. And that'll wrap it up for tonight. So thanks anybody who tunes in and see this. We appreciate it. But we'll wrap it up there. So for Richie Goodacre, I have been Austin Pez Howell, and we'll see you next time in the Kumite.